celebrate another milestone in transforming the way we do things in the government. Before we officially commence our program, please all rise and let us begin this afternoon by remembering that we are in the most holy presence of our Creator.
Let's all bow our heads for a moment of solemnity. Dear God, our Creator, we gather today to honor the Anti-Red Tape Authority's 6 years of service to our country. We are thankful for the days, weeks, and years that the men and women of ARTA have toiled in their roles to support the authority in carrying out its functions and services to achieve a streamlined and digitalized Philippine bureaucracy for an effective, efficient, and inclusive service delivery to Filipino citizens. We acknowledge the commitment through the years and the contributions of each and every employee and stakeholder to ensure the attainment of ARTA's vision, mission, and mandate. We thank you that ARTA's 6th anniversary is also a chance to acknowledge and appreciate the hard work and dedication of all personnel and development partners. We pray for your blessings on all of us today as we continue to serve the nation towards a prosperous, inclusive, and resilient society by eliminating red tape and corruption. In Jesus' name we pray, Amen.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahmanirrahim. Malik Yawmiddin. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal lazina an'amta alaihim ghairil maghdubi alaihim waladdallin. In the name of God, most gracious, most merciful, praise be to God, Lord of the universe. Most gracious, most merciful, Master of the day of judgment, you alone we worship. You alone we ask for help. Guide us in the right path, the path of those whom you blessed, not of those who have deserved wrath, nor of the slayers. Amen.
Please remain standing for the singing of the Philippine National Anthem.
You may now take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Manila Hotel. Today, we celebrate 6 years of transformative regulatory reform, streamlining efforts, and digitalization initiatives to achieve bureaucratic efficiency in doing business. To our distinguished guests and partners for change, welcome to the 6th State of the ARTA address with the theme, Katuwang sa isang layunin para sa Bagong Pilipinas.
Since 2018, the Anti-Red Tape Authority has been at the forefront of promoting ease of doing business and eliminating bureaucratic red tape in the country. To formally welcome us to today's event, may we call on stage the ARTA's Deputy Director General for Operations, Undersecretary Gerald G. Divinagracia.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, members of the diplomatic corps, esteemed colleagues from the public sector, value development partners, and members of the ARTA family, good afternoon, and welcome to the 6th anniversary celebration of the Anti-Red Tape Authority, ARTA. We are truly grateful for your presence here today as we celebrate this significant milestone. Under the theme, Katuwang, sa ISang Layunin para sa Bagong Pilipinas. We gather here to emphasize the importance of collaboration and unity in driving meaningful changes and advancements in our country. We recognize the collective effort and partnership of each and every one of you in achieving our shared vision for a better Philippines. Please indulge me in acknowledging some of our guests today who have been supportive and continue to support all of ARTA's efforts. Executive Secretary, Honorable Lucas Bersamin. And members of the Diplomatic Corps, Her Excellency Lorraine Bofis, Ambassador of the United Kingdom to the Philippines, His Excellency Ilan Fluss, Ambassador of Israel to the Philippines, His Excellency Christian Halas Lister, Ambassador of the Kingdom of Norway to the Philippines, His Excellency Datu Abdul Malik Melvin Castillino, Ambassador of Malaysia to the Philippines, Her Excellency Constance C. Sin Yuan, Ambassador Designate of the Republic of Singapore, His Excellency Lee Sang-hwa, Ambassador of Korea to the Philippines, His Excellency Andres Michael Pfaffernoschka, Ambassador of Germany to the Philippines. Our colleagues from the public sector, former Senator Joey Lina, Mr. Jose Torres Jr., Director General of the Philippine Information Agency, Mr. Larry Del Rosario Lacson, Acting Administrator of the National Food Authority, Honorable Peter Sr. Pedro Unabia, Governor of Misamis Oriental, Attorney Eugene Teves, Managing Director of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, our esteemed development partners, Mr. Guillermo Bill Luz, Chairman of Asian Institute of Management, Rizalino Navarro Policy Center for Competitiveness, Ms. Mary J. Divinagracia, Management Association of the Philippines, Vice Chair for the Ease of Doing Business of PwC Deals Advisory, Mr. Edward Ling, Chairman of the Malaysian Chamber of Commerce in the Philippines, Mr. Rex Daryanani, Chairman of the Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce, Ms. Kimi Sue Dewar, Executive Director of the Australian New Zealand Chamber of Commerce, Philippines, Mr. Carl Martin Fanesin, President of the Philippines-Norway Business Council, Mr. Bo Lundquist, President of the Nordic Chamber of Commerce of the Philippines, Mr. John Kokil, Director of the Korean Chamber of Commerce of the Philippines, Mr. Marie Antoinette Mariano, President of German-Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Dr. Diana Edrelin, Director of European Chamber of Commerce of the Philippines. Ms. Christine Fajardo, Chairwoman of the Swiss Chamber of Commerce of the Philippines. Mr. Raymond Talimio, Chairman of Cagayan de Oro Chamber of Commerce and Industry Foundation. Mr. Sergio Ortiz Luis, Jr., Honorary Chairman and Treasurer of the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Mr. Alex Brillantes, Chief of Party of USAID Urban Connect. And lastly, Mr. Enrico Basilio, Chief of Party, USAID Respond. There you go. And of course, our dearest Secretary, Director General Ernesto V. Perez. So once again, thank you to all of you and good afternoon. Let us take a moment to reflect on the past when our nation was entangled in red tape, hindering progress and causing frustration. It was a time of manual operations, stacks of paperwork, and fraught with errors and delays, resulting in lost business opportunities and investments. But amidst this challenging landscape, a new path is emerging, guided by the Anti-Red Tape Authority, ARTA, with unwavering determination. We have embarked on a mission to transform the frustrating red tape into a welcoming red carpet. Our collective efforts have ushered in a new era of streamlined processes and efficient governance, sparking hope for our nation and improving the lives of Filipinos. Though the journey is still ongoing, we have witnessed remarkable progress. Thanks to ARTA's tireless team and with your support and collaboration, we are gradually bidding farewell to endless processes and bureaucratic hurdles and creating a more conducive environment for business and investments. We stand here today as a testament to our dedication and the transformative changes we have brought about. We recognize that there is still work to be done, but we are committed to pushing forward, building upon the foundations laid in the last 6 years. Our goal is clear: to establish a streamlined and digitalized Philippine bureaucracy that ensures effective, efficient, and inclusive. Let me repeat, inclusive service delivery for all. We aim to simplify the process of accessing various government services, ensuring that every Filipino and every investor receives the services they deserve. By doing so, we create a more efficient and welcoming environment for both individuals and businesses, driving growth and prosperity for all. So during today's celebration, we will witness ARTA's continued dedication to innovation and efficiency in the Philippine bureaucracy. So Undersecretary Genesis Abbott will introduce us to 𝐋𝐈𝐕𝐄, ARTA's National Innovation Movement, which showcases ARTA's commitment to mobilizing collaborative efforts across the government, the private sector, and the academe to drive collective action towards Bagong Pilipinas. Our esteemed Director General, Secretary Ernesto V. Perez, will deliver the State of the ARTA address, highlighting ARTA's achievements over the past years and outlining our vision for the future. We are honored to have special messages from our guests, Mr. Sabin M. Aboitis, President of the Private Sector Advisory Council, represented by Ms. Fatima Mateo, and Mr. Joey Lina, former Senator and co-convener of the Buklod Bayani Coalition. Their messages will underscore the collaborative efforts between ARTA and various sectors to enhance governance and economic growth in the Philippines. The keynote address will be delivered by our Executive Secretary, Honorable Lucas P. Bersamin, whose words will inspire and remind us of the importance of ARTA's mission in the broader context of national development. A significant highlight of the program will be the launch of ARTA Asian Institute of Management Competitiveness Dashboard, to be presented by Mr. Guillermo Bill Luz, Chairman of the AIM Rizalinos Navarro Policy Center for Competitiveness. This dashboard represents a major advancement, serving as an integrated platform to meticulously monitor and analyze various aspects of the country's competitiveness. It will empower stakeholders to make well-informed decisions and implement targeted strategies to bolster our nation's competitiveness globally. Following the launch, we will have an engaging fireside chat to be moderated by Director Marbida of ARTA's Better Regulations Office. This interactive session will provide deeper insights into the ARTA AIM Competitiveness Dashboard. To conclude our celebration, Undersecretary Rico Judge Janvier R.J. Echeverry, Deputy Director General for Administration and Finance, will deliver the closing remarks, summarizing the day's reflections and inspiring continued dedication to our cause. The celebration marks not an end, but a milestone in ARTA's ongoing journey towards a better Philippines. We recognize we have a long road ahead in improving government service delivery. However, we remain committed to bringing about transformative change that benefits every Filipino and the business community. Our goal is to simplify the process of accessing various government services, ensuring that every Filipino and every investor receives the services they deserve. But we cannot do it alone. We are grateful for your partnerships we have forged with each of you. As we move forward, we humbly ask for your continued support, your passion, dedication, and expertise are vital in our ongoing efforts. By working together, we can create a more responsive government that truly serves the needs of every Filipino. So let us continue pushing boundaries, embracing innovation, and fostering collaboration across sectors. Let us stand united in our mission to build a better Philippines, ang Bagong Pilipinas, where efficient and inclusive service delivery is the norm. Once again, welcome to today's event and have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, Undersecretary de Vinagracia. Indeed, our celebration today is a culmination of our efforts with our development partners in transforming the way we do things in the government.
Our success as one of the lead agencies in implementing a national policy on anti-red tape and ease of doing business is a feat accomplished by our sustained collaboration with the private sector, the academe, and the other government agencies. A testament to this synergy is the implementation of Project Pinasbilis in partnership with the Aboitiz Equity Ventures. The project has reshaped methods and manner of public service delivery, developed human capital, reinvented processes, and redefined institutional structures.
In order to continue this momentum of transformation, the authority, together with its partners from Aboitiz, is proud to announce Pinasbilis Phase 2. The program will benefit civil servants and capacitate them with re-engineering and process streamlining of business permitting and licensing. We invite our guests to direct your attention to the screen as we introduce Pinasbilis Phase 2.
Launched in mid-2022, Pinasbilis is a collaborative project by the Anti-Red Tape Authority, Aboitiz Equity Ventures, and Aboitiz Foundation, which aim to streamline the processes of 7 NGAs and 12 LGUs, including more than 150 government employees. Trainings include business process management toolbox, analytics for organizations, agile project management, basic and advanced course on regulatory impact assessment, and customer service delivery. Pinasbilis has also provided provided scholarships for 5 employees of ARTA under Public Administration Studies with special focus on regulatory management system. This coming June 2024, Pinas shall donate the needed computers and printers to Lapu-Lapu City as one of the first beneficiaries. We also anticipate the inclusion of Pinas in the 2024 Compendium of Government Best Practices and Innovative Solutions. True enough, several partnerships have followed ARTA in Aboitiz, and we are excited to launch in the coming months another phase of Pinas Bilis. Let's work together for bureaucratic efficiency para sa Bagong Pilipinas.
Our stakeholders across government can look forward to more innovations with the upcoming launch of Pinas Bilis Phase 2. This initiative will surely advance our goal of simplifying procedures and ensuring citizen-centric public service delivery.
The enactment of Republic Act No. 11032, or the Ease of Doing Business and Efficient Government Service Delivery Act of 2018, has been considered as a landmark move for the Philippine government, as it introduces a whole-of-government approach to deliver public service efficiently and effectively. Since then, the Anti-Red Tape Authority has transitioned from taking small steps to making big strides in empowering government agencies to become one with the President's call for Bagong Pilipinas.
Cognizant with this year's theme of Katuwang sa isang layunin para sa Bagong Pilipinas, the authority is making it a mission to amplify the movement for bureaucratic efficiency in the country. To celebrate 6 years of transformation and introduce ARTA's National Innovation Movement, may we now call to the stage the Deputy Director General for Legal, Under Secretary Genesis R. Abot.
To the Honorable Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin, to the ambassadors, His and Her Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, to Secretary Ernesto Perez, to our distinguished guests, fellow colleagues in the government, good afternoon. It has become a cherished tradition of the Anti-Red Tape Authority that during each anniversary celebration, we present our accomplishments from the preceding years. It is with humility that we will be showing later an audiovisual presentation to showcase our achievements. Nevertheless, it fills me with immense pride to say that we have indeed made significant progress on numerous fronts, fostering an environment conducive to our country's prosperity. Thanks in no small part to the guidance of our beloved leader at the helm, Secretary Perez. By the same token, it goes without saying that these accomplishments would not have come to fruition without all of you. Not just the people of ARTA, but to our colleagues in the government, private stakeholders, development partners, and the public. You energize our agency. Each of you has shared in the burden, and each of you has made it easier to carry out our mandate of transforming government service delivery into an efficient, effective, and inclusive process. But there is still much, much more to do. And with this, we request your continued support and on the programs and projects of ARTA. ARTA needs to do this in order to achieve the directive of the President, Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., to replace red tape with the red carpet. He said, services must be fast, projects must be completed on time, deadlines must be met, and distress calls must be responded without delay. For the people of ARTA, we would like to thank each of you for the work that you have done. I am confident that with our Secretary, along with Undersecretaries Divina Gracia and Undersecretary Echeverry, we are keenly aware of your contributions to this agency. There are no big or small contributions. Like a well-oiled machine, ARTA will not properly function without each of us doing our respective roles. Thank you for going above and beyond our expectations. And today, as we celebrate our milestones of the past 6 years, let us also turn our sights to the future. We cannot be complacent. We must remain engaged in transforming the way government services are delivered in order to serve the public interest. This is the part we play in the grand task of building a nation. And I firmly believe that with your boundless enthusiasm, we shall accomplish this. I know that so much work awaits us. In the meantime, take pride in what we have achieved in the past 6 years, and take comfort in knowing that each accomplishment that will be shown in the next video is a product of your collective efforts, without which we would not be here today. So congratulations to all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Undersecretary Abbott. Please direct your attention to the screen for ARTA's National Innovation Movement.
Pagpapabuti ng mga serbisyo ng gobyerno sa pamamagitan ng whole of nation approach. Innovation, pagpapahusay ng mga regulasyon tungo sa bureaucratic efficiency. Ito ang misyon ng Anti-Red Tape Authority o ARTA. Sa loob ng 6 na taon mula nang itatag ang ahensya noong 2018, ang ARTA ay aktibong gumagawa ng mga hakbang upang wakasan na ang red tape at gawin itong red carpet na magiging daan sa pagkamit ng isang business-friendly environment sa ating bansa. Sa maikling panahon, kasama ang mga masisigasig na empleyado at mga maaasahang katuwang nito, napabuti ng ARTA ang mga proseso at pulisiya sa burokrasya na nakapagpabuti rin sa buhay ng bawat Pilipino. Isa sa mga ito ay ang pag-streamline ng mga proseso sa telecommunication sector, kung saan lubos na nabawasan ang mga hakbang sa pagtatayo at pag-energize ng mga telco towers. Sa pangunguna ng Better Regulations Office ng ARTA, patuloy ang pakikipag-ugnayan ng ahensya sa mga pribadong sektor katulad ng Smart Communications, Globe Telecom at Manila Electric Company o Meralco upang maging tuloy-tuloy na ang pagsasaayos ng nabanggit na sektor. Ang Electronic Business One-Stop Shop o EBOS na isinusulong sa pagtutulungan ng ARTA, DILG, DICT at DTI ay isang whole-of-nation approach upang higit pang mapabilis ang pag-apply at pag-renew ng business permits. Sa pamamagitan ng Compliance Monitoring and Evaluation Office ng ARTA, sinisiguro ng ahensya na maitatag at mapalawak pa ang EBOS sa pamamagitan ng pagsusuri at pag-iinspeksyon sa pagsunod ng bawat local government unit o LGU sa buong bansa. Ipinagmamalaki rin ng ARTA ang pag-expand ng enforcement efforts kasama ang 8888 Citizens Complaint Center o CCC, kung saan ang ating mga kababayan ay maaaring magreklamo at dumulog ng kanilang mga issue at nararanasang red tape sa pamamagitan ng pagtawag sa 8888 hotline. Ayon sa ARTA Public Assistance Division, ang pagtutulungan ng ARTA at 8888 ay nagbunga ng mas maraming bilang ng red tape-related complaints na naidulog sa ARTA at natugunan na ng ahensya. Ang pakikipagtulungan ng ARTA sa mga pribadong grupo sa pamamagitan ng ARTA Champions ay nagdala ng positibong epekto sa pagsulong ng mga programa ng ARTA upang mapalakas ang pagsasagawa ng public and private partnerships, nang mapalawak pa ang presensya ng ahensya hindi lamang sa gobyerno kundi na rin sa mga nasa pribadong sektor. Ang European Chamber of Commerce of the Philippines, Malaysia Chamber of Commerce and Industries Philippines, Philippine-Norway Business Council, German-Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Korean Chamber of Commerce Philippines, at Nordic Chamber of Commerce ay iilan lamang sa mga kaalyado na ng ARTA sa pagsusulong ng bureaucratic efficiency sa bansa. Binibigyan rin ng prioridad ng ahensya ang mga international collaborations na nagbibigay ng capacity building training sa mga empleyado nito. Ilan sa mga naging partners na ng ARTA ay ang mga embahada ng New Zealand at United Kingdom sa Pilipinas. Maliwanag na sa pamumuno ni Secretary Ernesto V. Perez, ang ARTA kasama ang mga naging katuwang nito ay nagkakaisa upang maglingkod sa bawat Pilipino at sila'y sabay-sabay na humahakbang sa red carpet na kung saan ang ating pamahalaan ay nagiging epektibo, episyente at may pagkakaisa. Ang lahat ng ito ay sang-ayon sa direktiba ni Pangulong Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. tungo sa isang bagong Pilipinas.
Katuwang ako.
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 Katuwang ako sa isang layunin para sa bagong Pilipinas.
And now, to deliver the State of the ARTA address, please welcome the Director General of the Anti-Red Tape Authority, Secretary Ernesto V. Perez.
His and Her Excellencies of the Diplomatic Corps, Executive Secretary Lucas P. Bersamin, distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues, esteemed members of the business community, fellow servants in government, dedicated personnel of the Anti-Red Tape Authority, ladies and gentlemen, isang maganda at pinagpalang hapon po sa ating lahat. A year has passed since I first addressed you as Director General of the Anti-Red Tape Authority. It was a time fraught with challenges where doubts about our agency's relevance and allegations against our past leadership casted shadows over our endeavors, tarnishing the integrity of our institution. Yet, through the storm, upheld by the unwavering trust of our President, Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., guided by steady hand of our Executive Secretary, Lucas Bersamin, and fueled by your unparalleled support, we pressed forward. Today, I stand before you once more, not simply to recount our journey, but to declare with pride that we have weathered the tempest. We are proud to say that we have made significant strides. 362 days ago, we made solemn commitments to our nation, promises etched in the very fabric of our determination. In the realm of telecommunications, we promised permanence of the significant progress we have made through our joint memorandum circular. In the domain of infrastructure, we pledge a joint memorandum circular that expedites and prioritizes the issuances of permits, licenses, clearances, and authorizations required for infrastructure flagship projects. For strategic investments, we assured full support for the full implementation of Executive Order 18, which provided green lanes for strategic investments. As for energy, we committed to a model ordinance that will be adopted by all local government units to simplify requirements and optimize the benefits of hosting energy projects. 362 days since then, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. signed Executive Order 32, cementing the streamlined permitting process for telecommunications and internet infrastructure, ensuring a smoother and faster process for all involved and facilitating better connectivity for our nation. President Marcos Jr. signed Executive Order 59, which ensures that infrastructure flagship projects initiated by the administration proceed smoothly without unnecessary bureaucratic delays. The Department of Trade and Industry, ARTA, with the Department of the Interior and Local Government, the Department of Finance, and the National Economic Development Authority have finalized and signed the implementing rules and regulations for Executive Order 18, ensuring that investments are welcomed and facilitated with ease and haste in our country, making it easier to invest and establish businesses here. And as we speak, the model ordinance for energy projects is being finalized with the Department of Energy and the Energy Virtual One-Stop Shop, or EVO Steering Committee, to accelerate the electrification of all regions and reduce the cost of electricity across our nation. This will not only benefit the citizens, but will also entice entrepreneurs and investors to engage their businesses in our country. President Marcos Jr. also signed Executive Order 41, prohibiting all local government units from collecting toll fees and charges on motor vehicles transporting goods or merchandise while passing through national roads, as well as other roads not constructed and funded by them. We have formulated 84 policies and studies, reviewed 12 regulatory impact statements, capacitated 72 agencies on regulatory impact assessment, received 7,926 re-engineering plans, resolved 7,139 complaints, addressed 5 ordinances on pass-through fees, formulated a JMC to address the port congestion in Matnog with a long-lasting solution, and developed 2 information systems. In just 362 days, these landmark executive orders were signed into law, these streamlined processes were set in motion, and these progressive regulations finalized and implemented. In just 362 days, we have laid the groundwork supporting a future brimming with promise and opportunity. Naipunla natin ang matitibay na pundasyong ito para sa bagong Pilipinas. Nevertheless, the job is not yet finished. We gather here today to recognize that there is still much room for improvement. We must remain vigilant and proactive in addressing the challenges that lie ahead. We must ensure that our government works for the many, not just the few. It must encourage free enterprise, reward individual initiative, and open the doors of opportunity for every Filipino. Our goal is to create an environment where businesses can thrive, where innovation is nurtured, and where every child can dream big and achieve their full potential. Moreover, we must guarantee that Filipinos can easily access vital government services, especially in healthcare and social services. No Filipino should be left behind due to bureaucratic inefficiencies. Our commitment is to make government services more accessible, efficient, and responsive to the needs of the people. The dream of a strongly rooted, comfortable, and secure life for every Filipino is attainable only with a level playing field, clear and consistent regulations. We envision a future where confidence in our country continues to rise, investments keep flowing in, jobs are continuously created, and a positive cycle of consumption, business growth, and employment opportunities is maintained. None of this is going to happen overnight. Following the guidance and directives of our President, Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., we will continue to embark on a bold path of innovation, digitalization, and strategic partnership that will redefine the landscape of government service delivery, eradicating red tape and rolling out red carpet for all Filipinos. The Philippines prides itself on having a workforce that is well educated, fluent in English, exceptionally customer-focused, quick to learn and adapt, culturally versatile, and widely recognized for its dedication and loyalty. Now, imagine the potential of this workforce at your disposal in an environment where doing business is streamlined and simplified. For our local and international entrepreneurs and investors, ARTA, DILG, DICT, and DTI are accelerating efforts to ensure every local government unit across the country implements an electronic business one-stop shop, or EBOS. This integrated online platform revolutionizes the process of applying for permits and licenses, cutting through cumbersome bureaucracy and enabling you to start and sustain your business from the comfort of your home or offices. 33 LGUs have so far been commended for their exemplary implementation of a duly compliant Electrona Cavite, Dasmariñas Cavite, Manolo Fortich in Bukidnon, Hasaan, Misamis Oriental, Ginsiliban in Camiguin, a 6th-class municipality, Legazpi City, Albay, Bacnotan, La Union, Binyan, Laguna, Calamba, Laguna, Bacoor, Cavite, Davao City, General Santos City, Malaybalay, Bukidnon, El Salvador, Misamis Oriental, Tagaluan, Misamis Oriental. All these LGUs that have been found to be IBOS compliant are able to process and issue business permit in just a matter of 30 minutes. The goal, under the direction of the President, is to even have this in 10 minutes, and we can do this. For the month of May and June, we are set to award about 9 other municipalities. In 2024, we are ambitiously targeting 200 additional LGUs to adopt the ELGU system developed by the DICT and with the support of the DILG, which fully meets the IBOS requirements and is being rolled out at no cost to them. With these groundbreaking advancements, the time for excuses is over. There is no longer any justification for LGUs to delay the implementation of this crucial component of the Ease of Doing Business Act. For citizens navigating through the labyrinth of bureaucracy, we are in the process of populating 2 online systems, the Philippine Business Regulations Information System, or PBRIS, and the Anti-Red Tape Electronic Management Information System, or ARTEMIS. Both systems developed and being implemented at practically no financial cost to the government, with the technical assistance from the U.S. Agency for International Development through the Project Respond, headed here by Dr. Henry Basilio, Regulatory Support Program for National Development. Thank you so much. These online systems will serve as the central portal for government regulations and citizens' charters, providing real-time information on government rules and services. Through these tools, we hope to cut through the confusion and delays in dealing with government. Our commitment doesn't end there. We are continuously empowering government agencies with training on good regulatory practices and implementing a whole-of-government re-engineering approach to enhance our nation's regulations and government services. We also launch our learning management system that can be accessed by trainees from the comfort of their offices, and by streamlining processes and adopting best practices, we are paving the way for a more efficient and responsive government. Let me just recognize the assistance given by the United Kingdom government on the re-engineering manual that we released, together with the workbook for the regulatory impact assessment. Additionally, we are forging a partnership with the Office of the National Administrative Register, or ONR, to keep the public informed of the latest government regulations. This collaboration will also ensure that all regulations filed with ONR have undergone regulatory impact assessment process and upload to the PBRIS, guaranteeing that every new rule is thoroughly evaluated for its effectiveness and impact and is readily accessible to the public. Health is wealth. Ensuring that every Filipino has access to necessary medical services is not just a priority, but a fundamental cornerstone of a prosperous and thriving nation. For our kababayans in urgent need of medical services but lacking financial resources, we are working closely with the Department of Health, the Department of Social Welfare and Development, the Department of the Interior and Local Government, the Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office, PhilHealth, and government hospitals to implement a proposed executive order that streamlines and unifies the requirements for medical assistance. This initiative will cut through bureaucratic hurdles, providing timely support to save lives and offer critical health care to our most vulnerable citizens. The Philippines, situated in the Pacific Ring of Fire, is highly prone to natural disasters with frequent calamities such as typhoons, earthquakes, and volcanic eruptions. Recognizing this vulnerability, the government have implemented preventive measures to mitigate disaster risks. For our charitable institutions and generous donors, we are collaborating with the Department of Social Welfare and Development, Department of Interior and Local Government, Department of Finance to finalize a draft executive order for donations. This proposed executive order will facilitate the prompt and efficient processing of donations, particularly in times of disaster and crisis. By removing red tape, we ensure that aid from government and the international community reaches those in need quickly and effectively, enhancing our nation's resilience and solidarity. At the heart of our nation's food security lies the dedication and hard work of our farmers and agricultural enterprises. To our farmers and agricultural enterprises, we are initiating efforts to simplify the regulatory environment, allowing easier access to resources, technology and markets, and other essential support from government. This will boost productivity, ensure food security, and uplift the lives of our rural communities, making agricultural cornerstone of our economic stability. For our citizens seeking efficient and responsive government services, the first phase of the Report Card Survey 2.0 is underway. It is a vital tool in assessing government agencies' adherence to the standards outlined in the Ease of Doing Business law. Within this survey, the citizen satisfaction measurement component allows individuals to provide feedback on the quality of services received. With 860 government offices currently undergoing evaluation, including local government units spanning across Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, this comprehensive assessment ensures that the performance of government agencies is thoroughly examined and public satisfaction is measured. These insights gleaned from this survey serve as our compass, guiding us towards pinnacle of excellence and aligning our actions with the aspirations of our nation. For anyone who experiences violations of the Ease of Doing Business law, we urge you to reach us through email at complaints@arta.gov.ph or through our landline 12782 or via 8888 through our Memorandum of Agreement with the Office of the President, Citizens Complaint Center. With a remarkable 98.45% resolution rate in terms of initial complaints received by our office, coupled with your ongoing collaboration with the 8888 Citizens Complaint Center, your grievances are promptly addressed, ensuring swift justice and accountability. Thank you. For those who still dare, we are embarking on an intensified campaign of investigation and enforcement, forging strong partnerships with enforcement agencies to conduct entrapment operations against violators of the ease of doing business law. This proactive stance ensures that those who flout regulations are swiftly brought to justice, fostering a fair and conducive environment for business operations. Recognizing the indispensable role of our private sector partners, we are enhancing our collaboration through the full implementation of ARTA Champions program. Businesses can now channel their complaints against erring government officials or employees through the respective chambers of commerce, organizations, or representatives, fostering a streamlined process for addressing grievance and driving positive change. In our relentless pursuit of progress, ARTA is taking its initiative directly to the grassroots level through the Bagong Pilipinas town hall meetings. These gatherings serve as platforms to amplify the government's socio-economic agenda, particularly focusing on bureaucratic efficiency while also soliciting valuable input for policy development from local communities. Lastly, this afternoon marks the launch of the Competitiveness Dashboard, an innovative initiative designed to monitor the Philippines' performance across identified sectors or indicators in comparison to its regional counterparts. This real-time tracking mechanism empowers stakeholders with valuable insights to drive strategic decisions and enhance our nation's competitiveness or competitive edge on the global stage. As President Marcos have declared, we live in a global economy, and therefore we follow the principle that we have vigorously but cooperate whenever possible, but to compete vigorously with the nations in Southeast Asia, in ASEAN, in Asia, and for that matter, for the rest of the world. We also have to compete in terms of the ease of doing business. Ang dami namang gusto ng ARTA. Pasensya na kayo. I'm leading a group of dedicated, patriotic, competent public servants. And with the support of our private sector partners, development partners, even foreign governments, we are more than encouraged to pursue all our programs and initiatives. Yes, the goals laid out by ARTA are nothing short of audacious. They represent a future brimming with progress, a future that demands our collective effort. While the challenges may appear formidable, are we not a nation forged in the fires of adversity? Should we now shy away from the very aspirations that will propel our nation forward? Is the promise of a brighter tomorrow not worth every ounce of our dedication? Despite all these efforts and all these accomplishments, there may be whispers against these words, seeking flaws to criticize tomorrow. There are entrenched interests out there that wish to maintain the status quo of inefficiency. Our people have suffered long enough, spending countless hours under the scorching sun or in crumpled waiting rooms, only to be met with bureaucratic inefficiencies and red tape. This is not just a matter of inconvenience. It is a matter of justice and dignity. We owe it to every citizen who has ever stood in line, filled out countless forms, and paid unnecessary fees. We owe it to every entrepreneur whose dreams were delayed by a mountain of regulations. We owe it to every family that struggled because they were sent home due to difficult requirements. We owe it to every Filipino to create a system that works efficiently and fairly, a system that serves the people with respect and urgency. Not because it is easy. As we continue our efforts, we must remember that progress demands deliberate choices and collective action. Magtulungan po tayo. Progress will only happen if we work together, if we engage in rational, constructive debates, and if we work together and not against each other. In this spirit, I am reminded of the words of President John F. Kennedy when he spoke about the audacious goal of sending a man to the moon. He said, and I quote, "We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we are willing to accept, one that we are unwilling to postpone, and one which we intend to win." Just as Kennedy, or President Kennedy, inspired a nation to reach for the moon, we too choose a daunting challenge. We choose to eradicate red tape. We choose to eliminate bureaucratic inefficiencies, not because it is easy, but because it is hard. This goal will test the best of our energies and skills. It is a challenge we are willing to accept, unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win. This is our vision of going to the moon. It is my firm belief that we can do this. Walang hindi kayang abutin ang mga Pilipinong nagkakaisa tungo sa isang bagong Pilipinas. While I have the honor of addressing you today, let us be clear. This is not solely my achievement. This is why I extend my deepest gratitude to our champions in the private sector, our development partners, and our fellow government agencies. Your unwavering support and collaboration are the backbone of our collective success. Your steadfast commitment instills in me the confidence that we can accelerate our progress and achieve ARTA's 6-year change management plan. With your continued support, the Philippines can fulfill its aspirations, rising to the status of an upper middle income economy by 2025. I would like also to acknowledge the dedicated young men and women of the Anti-Red Tape Authority, and for which I'd like all you to please rise and be recognized. All the young men and women of the Anti-Red Tape Authority, please join me in recognizing you. I would like to acknowledge you for standing by me throughout the years. I stand before you today with a solemn commitment to pledge to even work and serve further. Please be with me, continue with me in this journey. I want to say, this is not my speech. This is your achievement. You are the ones driving change. You are the unwavering force. You are the ones making the impossible possible. Your tireless efforts and unwavering commitment are the pillars upon which we are building a smarter, better, and global Philippines. Thank you, my ARTA family. As stated by our President, Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., let us take the leap forward, ushering a new era of efficiency and collaboration within and without government. Let us strive to build a Bagong Pilipinas where the Philippines is an attractive and competitive hub for business ventures, where enterprises flourish and thrive, and where opportunities await. He further said, let us be reminded, bawal ang tamad at makupad sa pamahalaan. Walang puwang ang mga babagal at sagabal sa serbisyo publiko. Services must be fast, projects must be completed on time, and deadlines be met per schedule. Distress calls must be responded to without delay. In every government office, red tape must be replaced with red carpet. Let us move forward with confidence and determination. Let us work together, engage in constructive debates, and improve our policies and regulations. Let us rise above the whispers of doubt and the obstacles that seek to hinder our progress. With God as my witness, as our protector, as our guide, we will continue to do whatever is good for the country. For it is by His name that all things be glorified. Together, we can transform our aspirations into reality. Together, we can achieve the extraordinary. Together, we can make the impossible possible. Mabuhay ang ARTA, mabuhay ang nagkakaisang Pilipino, mabuhay ang bagong Pilipinas. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Secretary Ernesto Perez. The authority has stressed the importance of collaborative partnerships towards our collective goal of reducing red tape and improving the delivery of public service. At this point, may we invite our development partners to deliver their messages of support. To represent Mr. Sabina Boitis of the Private Sector Advisory Council, please help us welcome to the stage Ms. Fatima Mateo.
Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin, our dear friend, ARTA Secretary Ernesto V. Perez, Attorney Joey Lina, Mr. Guillermo Luz, our friends from ARTA, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. I stand before you today on behalf of Mr. Sabin Aboitis and the Private Sector Advisory Council. PSAC was founded on the premise that collaboration between the private sector and the government is key for the transformation of our economy and development of our nation. And as such, PSAC's success and effectiveness go hand in hand with ARTA's. So as we gather here today, I want to emphasize the most critical role that ARTA plays in our collective pursuit of a more competitive and prosperous Philippines. We are fortunate to be able to work with an agency that shares our vision of a business environment that is open, transparent, and supportive of innovation and growth. The launch of the Philippine Global Competitiveness Dashboard is a clear testament to our commitment to this vision. Having a tool to help us monitor and analyze our country's competitiveness in global rankings will help us make better and more informed decisions, as well as track our progress over time. So we look forward to the difference and impact we can make with these innovations. the theme of this year's address resonates deeply with the private and public sector's resolve to lead the transformation of bureaucratic processes and systems. If we continue to work closely together, I truly believe we can create a business landscape that empowers the Filipino people and attracts investments that will drive our nation's progress towards becoming the next big thing in Asia. So as we commence today's activities, let us embrace this opportunity to collaborate and shape a brighter future for the Philippines. With a commitment to eradicating red tape and easing the ways we do business, we can build a nation that is truly competitive on the global stage. Once again, we extend our heartfelt congratulations to the Anti-Red Tape Authority under the leadership of Secretary Nes Perez. Daghang salamat at mabuhay po tayong lahat.
Thank you, Ms. Fatima Mateo. Up next, please welcome the former Senator and co-convener of the Buklod Bayani Coalition, Attorney Joey Lina.
Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Mabuhay ang ARTA! Mukhang hindi pa nagmimerienda. Mabuhay ang ARTA! Mabuhay ang ating Executive Secretary Lucas P. Bersamin. Mabuhay ang ating Secretary ng ARTA Director General Ernesto B. Perez. Excellencies of the Diplomatic Corps, development partners, distinguished guests, members of the ARTA family, mabuhay po kayo at magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. I am here to represent a broad coalition of government and non-governmental organizations. This broad coalition is called Buklod Bayani Coalition, which is organized to extend support to the ARTA so that it can achieve its objectives, accomplish its mandates. ARTA is very young, 6 years old. In the last 2 years, under the stable and passionate leadership of Secretary Ernesto B. Perez, ARTA has walked the talk and talked the walk. I don't have to elaborate on the accomplishments of ARTA in the last 2 years. Remember, 98.45% closure rate, meaning the complaints that had been received by ARTA and emergency number 8888. 98.5% of those complaints had been addressed successfully. No government agency that I know of can boast of that claim. And there is no doubt that under the leadership of Secretary Perez, ARTA, which is expected to be a game changer in Philippine government bureaucracy, because of its functions and the powers bestowed upon it, there will be dramatic changes in Philippine economy and in our economic development. Efficient delivery of government services is a tall order which is placed upon the shoulders of ARTA. You talk about the whole government bureaucracy that is expected to deliver efficient government services. More than 20 departments, hundreds of bureaus and sections. They are all expected to attend to the welfare of the people through efficient delivery of government services. There is no one agency in government that has been given that tremendous responsibility aside from ensuring ease of doing business. Combining the two, efficient delivery of government services and ease of doing business. Indeed, ARTA has a tremendous responsibility on its shoulder, and if it is able to achieve these two objectives, then it will really be a game changer in Philippine government bureaucracy and in our economic development. But ARTA and the whole government cannot do the job alone. We need the private sector to extend its helping hand, its support, to make sure that ARTA is able to deliver on its promises. That is why the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and I recognize the presence of our Honorary Chairman Emeritus, also of ECOP and the other organizations, ang dami. ECOP, PhilExport, palakpakan din natin si President Sergio Luis Ortiz. We belong to this Buklod Bayani. So we organize Buklod Bayani, a coalition between government and NGO. Our chairman is the Department of Interior and Local Government Secretary, Benhar Abalos. Co-chair is the ARTA Secretary. Co-chair is the PCCI President. The Vice Chair is the Department of Trade and Industry Secretary. And the members are PhilExport, ECOP, Filipino-Chinese Chamber of Commerce, the DICT Secretary, the Department of Labor Secretary, the DNR Secretary. So this is a joint effort of government and NGO working together from the national, having a structure down to the municipality with the governor in the province and the city mayor in the city and the mayor in the municipalities with their counterpart from the private sector. Together, we will help the ARTA accomplish its objectives so that down to the municipalities, there is a mechanism whereby processes or procedures by government can be vetted and tested, and any complaint will be attended right away. Even on the municipal level, there will be a synergy between government and the NGO down to the municipality to make sure that our citizens' charter and other government procedures and processes are implemented. The Buklod Bayani Coalition already has 20 million pesos in cash. We're going to help ARTA in promoting its mandate, educate the businessmen about the processes and procedures, track down the permits and approvals, requests of the businesses so that there will be no delay in getting the necessary permits, which had been the bane of many businesses even up to this point. But we are very hopeful that with this cooperation between government and non-governmental organization under the Buklod Bayani Coalition, which we hope will be a commission if an executive order is issued. But even before the executive order is issued, we have already hit the ground running because the Secretary of ARTA is very much already involved in the coalition. Secretary Benhar Abalos is very much involved in the coalition. DTI Secretary has already signed the Memorandum of Agreement. Secretary Frederick Go has also signed the Memorandum of Agreement, and the other department secretaries have signed. So there will be a strong collaboration between the government and the non-governmental organization in helping ARTA accomplish its role, its objectives, and its mandate. So mabuhay ang ARTA, katulong nyo kami na private sector, tutulungan namin ang ARTA sapagkat ang tagumpay ng ARTA ay tagumpay ng mga Pilipino, tagumpay ng gobyerno, tagumpay nating lahat. Maraming salamat po. Magandang hapon sa inyo lahat.
Thank you, Attorney Joey Lina. At this moment, may you request Attorney Joey Lina to remain on stage for the awarding of the token of appreciation and a photo opportunity with ARTA Senior Management. May we also invite Ms. Fatima Mateo back on stage to join us in the awarding of the token of appreciation and a photo opportunity. Let's give another warm round of applause to our development partners. Thank you once again, Ms. Fatima Mateo and Attorney Joey Lina, and all our other development partners for your constant support for ARTA's National Innovation Movement. At this juncture, to help us welcome and introduce keynote speaker, may we call back on stage Secretary Ernesto V. Perez.
Ladies and gentlemen, the retired Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of the Philippines and now Executive Secretary, Honorable Executive Secretary Lucas P. Bersamin.
Please, thank you very much. Thank you. Your Excellencies of the Diplomatic Corps, you are all my friends, bar none. Secretary Ernesto V. Perez, Director General, our fellow workers in government, the distinguished guests, especially the development partners of ARTA from the private sector, the media persons present, ladies and gentlemen. Greetings to the dedicated Anti-Red Tape Authority. It is my pleasure to extend my wholehearted congratulations to all of you who work in ARTA on this happy occasion of your remarkable 6th anniversary. You are a young agency, but your grit and your drive to enforce the ease of doing business law to reduce red tape will establish your reputation. Your passion and loyalty in building the capacity of our country to deliver efficient, effective, and inclusive public service to the people have been impressive. For sure, you now deserve the recognition and commendation that you've been relentlessly according to the cities and municipalities across our country. You have made exceptional strides in empowering agencies and local government units towards the attainment of the goal of bureaucratic efficiency in government services. I applaud you also for putting the best interests of the citizens at the core of your initiatives. The Office of the President has never wavered in its support for ARTA and its initiatives to eradicate red tape in government. Your mission is daunting, to say the least, but you have remained committed and focused. Special mention and congratulations should go to Secretary Perez. Thank you for your dynamic, selfless, and dedicated leadership. Your abiding loyalty to the purposes and goals of ARTA since its inception, and your unstinting focus on the institutional initiatives are admirable. Your influence and inspiration on every official and employee of the authority have been vital to the direction of ARTA. To the men and women of ARTA, your service has been an invaluable contribution to national progress. Please carry on, and may your commitment serve to inspire the staff of other agencies to take their responsibilities more dutifully and faithfully. This year's celebration theme is noticeably quite fitting to your mandate and goals. Katuwang sais ang layunin para sa Bagong Pilipinas. Through the years, indeed, ARTA's service has stayed true to its sworn objective of streamlining bureaucratic processes by particularly focusing on ease of doing business and aiding the growth of our country's national competitiveness. ARTA has also adhered to its commitment to uphold and implement the policy directives of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. You have thereby become the beacon for our national agencies and LGUs in the dispensation of public service. The President is grateful and appreciative of your valuable role. Finally, you thought it would be long? Finally, because of ARTA and its workers, we will soon witness and come to a time where the pernicious culture of red tape in the dispensation of public service disappears from our midst. That is the day for all of us to look forward to. Congratulations, and mabuhay ang ARTA. Mabuhay ang Bagong Pilipinas.
Thank you, Executive Secretary Bersamin. The Anti-Red Tape Authority is one with the President's call and initiative towards Bagong Pilipinas. May we request Executive Secretary Bersamin to remain on stage for the awarding of the token of appreciation and the photo opportunity with ARTA Senior Management. Before we proceed with the rest of the program, we also invite our key partners for a photo opportunity. Once your agency has been called, kindly proceed to the stage. Our ushers shall guide you accordingly. May we invite on stage representatives from the national government agencies and local government units, from the Office of the Executive Secretary, Office of the Special Assistant to the President for Investment and Economic Affairs, the Presidential Communications Office, the National Security Council, the Civil Service Commission, the Department of Trade and Industry, the Department of Finance, the Department of the Interior and Local Government, the Department of Agriculture, the National Food Authority, and the Provincial Government of Misamis Oriental.
The members of the Diplomatic Corps, the British Embassy, Manila, the Embassy of Israel in the Philippines, Royal Norwegian Embassy in Manila, the Embassy of Malaysia, the Embassy of the Republic of Singapore in the Philippines, the Embassy of the Republic of Korea in the Philippines, the Embassy of the Federal Republic of Germany, Manila, the Embassy of Canada to the Philippines, and the Australian Embassy. Chambers of Commerce, the Philippine-Norway Business Council Incorporated, German-Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Nordic Chamber of Commerce of the Philippines, Malaysia Chamber of Commerce in the Philippines, Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce Incorporated, and the Swiss Chamber of Commerce.
May we also invite on stage for a photo opportunity our development partners from the United States Agency for International Development, UPPAF Regulatory Reform Support Program for National Development, USAID Urban Connect, Management Association of the Philippines, Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and Cagayan de Oro Chamber of Commerce. May we once again invite on stage for a photo opportunity our friends from the national government agencies and local government units, from the Office of the Executive Secretary, the Office of the Special Assistant to the President for Investment and Economic Affairs, Presidential Communications Office, the National Security Council, the Civil Service Commission, the Department of Trade and Industry, the Department of Finance, the Department of the Interior and Local Government, the Department of Agriculture, the National Food Authority, and the Provincial Government of Misamis Oriental. May we also invite on stage from Cagayan de Oro. May we also invite on stage from the Food and Drug Administration. Let's give another round of applause to Executive Secretary Bersamin and all our development partners. May we now invite all our guests to please all rise as we take our signature ARTA photo opportunity. Once again, may we invite all our guests to please rise as we take our signature ARTA photo opportunity.
Let's give another warm round of applause to our development partners. May we now invite our guests to please settle down as we continue for the rest of the program. The Anti-Red Tape Authority is mandated to implement various ease of doing business and anti-red tape initiatives aimed at improving the competitiveness ranking of the Philippines. In line with this, the authority has been actively engaged in enhancing our country's performance by closely monitoring key indicators such as the World Bank Group's Doing Business Report. This report evaluates the business environment of 190 economies, focusing on the regulatory aspects throughout the life cycle of a business, from its establishment to its day-to-day operations.
Recognizing the need for the authority to ensure an evidence-based monitoring and evaluation of the country's competitiveness, the authority, in partnership with the Asian Institute of Management, Rizalino S. Navarro Policy Center for Competitiveness, developed the Philippine Global Competitiveness Report Card. Also known as the Competitiveness Dashboard, it shall serve as an integrated platform designed to effectively monitor and analyze various aspects of the country's competitiveness enabling stakeholders to make informed decisions and implement strategies for enhancing competitiveness.
To provide us a quick introduction on the Philippine Global Competitiveness Report Card, please welcome the Chairman of Asian Institute of Management Rizalino S. Navarro Policy Center for Competitiveness, Mr. Guillermo Bill Luz.
Excellencies of the Diplomatic Corps, Director General Nes Perez, ladies and gentlemen, in 2018, the Anti-Red Tape Authority was established to replace the National Competitiveness Council. While that placed strong emphasis and effort on one of our key challenges to economic growth, the ease of doing business, a few long-standing and successful projects fell by the wayside and were forgotten. One of them was the Global Competitiveness Report Card, which was used to monitor and measure how the country was performing versus the rest of the world. Sometime late last year, Director General Nes Perez and I were talking about how the absence of such a monitoring tool was hurting the country. We literally did not know how we were doing in comparison to some of our immediate competitors in ASEAN. We also did not know whether new government policy or legislation or rules and regulations were having any effect on how companies were looking or perceiving our competitiveness position. Were we improving or worsening? And how were our ASEAN neighbors performing? We didn't know. We were flying blind. So late last year, in December 2023, we agreed to form a partnership between ARTA and the Asian Institute of Management's Rizalino S. Navarro Policy Center for Competitiveness to focus more attention on the country's global competitiveness and signed a memorandum of understanding. We also agreed to recreate a new Global Competitiveness Report Card for the Philippines. Today, I am pleased to announce the launching of this new report card. While it is based conceptually on the version we first created in 2011 and ran until 2018, we have made significant changes to the content. We reviewed our original 12 indices and replaced many of them with new ones. In keeping in line with today's concerns and with a look into the longer-term challenges, we added topics such as education, talent and innovation, health and nutrition, energy transition and environment, and digitalization to our new mix of indicators. We also, of course, kept governance, trade, and general competitiveness from our original report. Today's report card allows you to view data from 20 different reports organized in 7 broad categories. It also allows you to see where we rank in the world with a special focus on ASEAN. I must warn you that showing the data will not automatically raise our global competitiveness. This is just a tool to build awareness and for analysis. Each agency responsible for its area of work still needs to figure out a way to improve performance. But at least we will now have some benchmark data to work with, and the public can see all the data in a transparent manner in the same way that investors can. As we like to remind everyone, what gets measured gets managed. So on behalf of ARTA, the Department of Trade and Industry, the Asian Institute of Management, and Livable Cities, may I invite you to watch this video and try the new Philippine Global Competitiveness Report Card.
Thank you, Mr. Bill Luz. Please direct your attention to the screen as we launch the Philippine Global Competitiveness Report Card.
Welcome to the Philippine Global Competitiveness Report Card Dashboard. The Competitiveness Dashboard is designed to monitor and analyze various aspects of the country's competitiveness effectively. It also offers a centralized view of key data and performance metrics, enabling stakeholders to make informed decisions and implement strategies to enhance competitiveness. The dashboard was built through the collaboration of the Anti-Red Tape Authority, the Department of Trade and Industry, the Asian Institute of Management, and Livable Cities, Philippines. Inside the dashboard, reports are classified into 7 categories. First, the general category. This provides a broad overview capturing overarching indicators and fundamental measures that contribute to the country's overall competitiveness. This includes the World Competitiveness Yearbook. Second, the digital category. This focuses on digital aspects showing the country's performance in digitalization, technological advancement, and the integration of digital platforms into various sectors. Under this category, you can take a look at the Digital Quality of Life Index, the GovTech Maturity Index, the ICT Development Index, the Network Readiness Index, the World Digital Competitiveness Ranking, and the E-Government Development Index. Third, we have the Education, Talent, and Innovation category. This centers on the education system, talent, and innovative capabilities, which assesses the country's capacity to nurture a skilled workforce and foster innovation. Further, we have the Energy and Environment category. This measures the country's commitment to balancing economic growth with ecological responsibility. Fifth, we have Governance category. This focuses on governance quality, examining factors such as transparency, regulatory frameworks, and efficiency of public administration. This includes the Be Ready, Corruption's Perception Index, Economic Freedom Index, and the Worldwide Governance Indicators. Number 6, we have Health and Nutrition category. This provides an overview of the country's health and nutrition status, which examines the healthcare infrastructure, public health initiatives, and nutritional standards. Finally, we have the Trade category. This explores the country's involvement in global markets, trade policies, and the overall competitiveness of its trade practices. Through the Competitiveness Dashboard, ARTA, together with DTI, AIM, and Livable Cities, will help improve the business climate in the country to increase investments and further promote the lives of every Filipino for the Bagong Pilipinas.
As we launch the Competitiveness Dashboard, may we invite to the stage Secretary Ernesto Perez, Undersecretary Gerald Divinagracia, Undersecretary Genesis R. Abbott, Undersecretary Rico Judge Echeverry, Director Marbida L. Marbida, and Mr. Jamil Francisco of the Asian Institute of Management. Together with our guests on stage, join us as we bring our vision into reality. Together with our partners in the private sector and in the government, let us set our sights for a competitive Philippine economy.
Let's give a round of applause for the launch of the Philippine Global Competitiveness Report Card. We invite our guests on stage to kindly remain for a photo opportunity. At this juncture, we invite our partners on stage to join us for the fireside chat to discuss more on the ARTA AIM Competitiveness Dashboard. This fireside chat will be moderated by Director Marbida L. Marbida of the Anti-Red Tape Authority Better Regulations Office. We invite our guests to kindly reserve your questions at the end of the panel discussion during the question and answer portion.
All right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Fireside Chat on the Global Competitiveness Dashboard. So we are very honored to have with us here our distinguished panel. We have Mr. Guillermo Luz from the Asian Institute of Management. We have former Senator Attorney Joey Lina from Buklod Bayani Foundation, and definitely our Secretary Ernesto V. Perez. So we are very happy to launch this dashboard. I hope the short video was able to pique your interest. We would like to share with you that our website is live and you can access it through the ARTA website. It's https www.arta.gov/competitiveness. So you can visit the website right now, and you can also scan the QR code that you can see on your screen. All right? So just for us to know more about the competitiveness dashboard and its importance, we'd like to know Sir Bill on competitiveness, because a lot of countries, developed and developing countries, are putting competitiveness as their central theme. So can you share to us what competitiveness means and why is it important for countries to monitor competitiveness?
Thank you. Basically, competitiveness is a measurement of a country's ability to attract investments, to boost productivity, to push economic growth. And there are a lot of factors that go into it, both economic and non-economic. But the sum total is a measurement that tells you that as an investor, do you think it is worth putting an investment in a place where you think there's going to be growth? And if you were a government official, you're also using it as a measure to see, can I attract investments? Can I promise them that their investments will yield the right results and returns that they're looking for? And at the end of the day, you're looking at economic growth and productivity.
And why is it important for us to compare our rankings with that of our ASEAN neighbors or the other countries in the world?
There's a pretty close correlation, a high correlation between competitiveness ranking and scores and, let's say, the ability to attract foreign direct investments, FDI. So if you go to this site and you take a look at where the Philippines ranks in ASEAN, for instance, along the set of competitiveness indicators, and then you look at how the rest of ASEAN is doing in terms of its ability to attract foreign direct investments versus the Philippines, you will see that the countries that rank higher than us and are therefore more competitive than us attract more investments, and you will see it in the FDI stats that are published every year. So we lag behind if we are ranked very low in competitiveness.
Thank you for that response, Sir Bill. And I would just like to check with Secretary Perez, no? What motivated the ARTA to create this dashboard and to partner with DTI, with AIM?
Actually, the whole idea started when we were invited by Bill here in a forum hosted by the Asian Institute of Management, where the Philippines competitiveness ranking was disclosed to us, compared with other countries, and possible reasons for quite low competitiveness ranking. And so we asked why this is what happened, why we are getting a low competitiveness ranking, and issues such as challenges encountered on getting data, accurate and updated data, and the availability of this data provided by government agencies. And so we thought that ARTA, having that unique mandate of interconnecting government agencies, of requiring agencies to comply with standard processing time of answering requests for certain specific data. So that's it. And so we signed a memorandum of agreement signed by no less than the Dean of the Asian Institute of Management during the Investors Forum. And we're just so inspired that after the signing of that memorandum of agreement, we thought that we have to have a follow-through. And the AIM has that facilities available, and ARTA has also the people that will try to collaborate with experts from the Asian Institute of Management. We understand that the data is available, and all we need to do is just collate. No? And right now, the Philippines does not have a consistent monitoring system. And as Bill Luz here earlier stated, the country's competitiveness ranking has a direct relation to the amount of foreign direct investments, the investors' confidence. So this is a good initiative because with the launching of the initiative, we will be closely monitoring the country's competitive ranking and see where we are standing and where we will be in the next years or so. And of course, that requires cooperation and collaboration, not only with the AIM, but also with other government agencies, private stakeholders. But let me also be clear that on the dashboard, it does not cover only competitiveness ranking, right? Covers other dashboard like trade, corruption perception index, energy, etc. I think Bill here will be in a better position to expound on it.
DG Ness, I'm glad you remembered that we invited you to that forum last year for the release of the World Competitiveness Yearbook data, and we had a big discussion. So let me already warn you that on June 19th, mid-June, the next round of reports will be released for World Competitiveness Yearbook. And anybody in the audience interested to attend, please let us know. But this will be a public release by AIM of the World Competitiveness Yearbook. And so that's the first report that we cover here. That is the General Competitiveness Report. So you get a chance to see it again and compare. Are we improving or are we worsening?
Thank you so much, Sir Bill and Secretary Perez. I think Secretary Perez mentioned earlier that we are very lucky to be in partnership with the AAM. And I think on behalf of our team at the Doing Business Division, it was really a joy creating this dashboard. We only had less than 5 months to come up with this dashboard, but I think we were able to achieve the objectives that we have set at the start of the year. And Sir Bill, since you mentioned already about the World Competitiveness Yearbook, the video mentioned about 20 indices across 7 sectors. So can you share to us what was the reason why we prioritized those 20 indices?
Yeah, so we took a look at, and we talked to some people in the business community as to what are the challenges we're facing today, but more importantly, what are the challenges that are long-term, meaning that the solution being arrived at now won't be felt for many years. So we have to be very diligent about implementing that solution. And we found that certain indicators are important. For instance, we took a look at education, talent, and innovation. In today's world, of global business, we are all competing for talent, for people. And in fact, for the Philippines, we're losing that competition sometimes because we're actually seeing people leave the country to work overseas. So we've got to be able to make sure that we educate that talent and then acquire the talent, train the talent, and keep the talent. So that war on talent is important, and there are measurements around the world on talent management. Which countries are the best at talent acquisition and management? But we also took a look at education. We do very poorly in the PISA ratings, so we thought that we need to focus on education and try to build up our workforce. We're fond of saying that we have educational, demographic sweet spot, that we have a lot of people, trainable, so on and so forth. But let me tell you, if they are poorly educated and poorly trained, that's a demographic burden, actually, not a sweet spot. So the same for health. If we don't have healthy people, we will not be able to educate them. They will not be able to learn. So we took a look at these types of indicators, and business community are telling us these are also important to fix. So not just traditional economic indicators, but other ones like health, talent, education, so on and so forth. So that's why we picked the reports that we picked.
Thank you, Sir Bill. I think Attorney Ina. Yep.
Well, congratulations in coming up with this dashboard. I noticed that there is no human development index and human capital index. Because at the end of the day, all of these indices, changes in education, health, innovation, energy, trade, all of these are meant to promote the welfare of the people. And so the real test of whether a country has become competitive is the welfare of the people getting promoted and promoted such that his human capital, as a human capital, he is really attractive because all these changes have contributed to developing the person themselves, or the people themselves. Is there something in this dashboard where you can see the human capital index?
Yes, there is, Joey. So we couldn't take the whole HDI because it's such a large set of statistics and reports behind it. So we kind of selected a few that would focus on human capital. So the first is education. We focused on that. And we're measuring here PISA, the PISA ratings of OECD. And then we took a look at hunger. So there's a global hunger index because malnutrition is something that we should be quite concerned about. We have 30% of our children who are either stunted or wasted, or malnourished at school age. And then finally, we also took a look at the health system. So before, we did not pay too much attention to public health systems. But after COVID, we realized the importance of paying attention to the strength of our public health system. So those are the three factors we're looking at in terms of human capital. I would say education, including innovation and talent management, health, and nutrition. Nutrition, very important. Because we can invest so much in education, but if people are hungry, they will not be able to learn.
Or if they have low cognitive ability because of malnutrition during the first 1,000 days of life, which has merited Congress to pass a law, Republic Act 11148, Kalusugan at Nutrisyon ng Magnanay Act, which if we are able to focus on making sure that our children in the first 1,000 days of life are well nourished, then they will not be stunted, they will have higher cognitive ability, they will be healthier, so we can achieve this objective of BTS, you know, BTS, brighter, taller, and stronger. Parang Korean, no? Korean pop
But
group.
you are completely correct.
I like that acronym, sir. BTS. Okay. Yeah. So, you raised a very good point, Attorney, no, na to strive for competitiveness is really to strive for prosperity and to strive for the improvement of every single individual, every single Filipino. So thank you. I guess we can open the floor to questions from our audience. I'm sure they have burning questions regarding the competitiveness dashboard. So we have ushers with microphones right now. So if somebody wants to ask a question, please raise your hand. And also say your name and your organization so that we can acknowledge you properly.
I'm Christine Fajardo, chairperson of the Swiss Chamber of Commerce of the Philippines, and I'd like to congratulate you, DG Perez, and Bill for the impactful Global Competitiveness Report Card initiative, because it's well known that what gets measured gets managed. And I'm very pleased that health is included, and health security is included. It's just concerning that in the report here, Philippines ranks 6 out of 10 for health security. So my question is, how then does ARTA, or perhaps Bill's global competitiveness firm, interact with the agency so that together we can brainstorm or think through on specific strategies to improve our ranking in health security, for example?
Okay, yeah, thanks. That's a great question. So you can see from these reports, now these reports, there are 20 of them, right? 7 categories, 20 reports. Each report can have anywhere from 10 to 150 line items or indicators. What we're going to do next is just basically at the headline basis, not all the indicators, but just the main headings. We will be able to map which agency is responsible for which indicator, because it cannot fall all on one. So ARTA's job is to check. So for health security, the natural fit is going to go to Department of Health, for instance. But it will also include, I think, groups like PhilHealth, groups like the National Nutrition Council. So anybody that's in a health-related space within government. So it's very transparent. It can be mapped. And these indicators are all internationally published. So we make up nothing of this. It's a compilation. So that's how we would do it for every indicator measured here.
And also, just to add, of course, I fully agree with Bill here, but with ARTA's mandate to interconnect government agencies. So, for instance, we will be monitoring the country's ranking in terms of education. So, as early as possible, we should already be connecting with the Department of Education to get their support and collaboration here, just as we already got the support of the Department of Trade and Industry through Secretary Pascual. He had a meeting the other day, and he was very excited about this initiative because by this way, we will be able to monitor our country's ranking and where we can improve on. This is something that agencies should not be worried about. As Bill here said, these data are available, and we're just collating and making this available so that the concerned government agencies will have a way of measuring. As Bill here, what gets measured gets managed. So, yeah.
Thank you, Secretary. Attorney?
When I said during my brief talk, ang laki ng trabaho ng ARTA. Kasi yung pagka sinabi mong efficient delivery of government services, in effect, you're looking at all the indicators in this global competitiveness report card and juxtapose it to the government agencies that are directly in charge of that particular sector. So, ang ARTA, makakabangga, whether we like it or not, makakabangga yun kasi kung yung scorecard na lalabas, napakababa, well, it can be received positively or it can be received negatively. And then that's the reality. That's why we have to give all the support to ARTA so that if it comes up with a report na malayo doon sa ideal or doon sa target, like in education or in health or in nutrition, in technology, malalantad yung accomplishment ng various department and bureaus with regard to that specific indicator. So kailangan ng support ng ARTA na huwag siyang matakot. Ilabas talaga ito. At malakikita dito sa inyong dashboard na pinag-uusapan. Am I correct?
Yeah, you know, Joey, for each indicator and for all the main tables, we have a color code. Okay? So red means we are in the bottom 1/3 of the world in a ranking for that particular indicator or index.
Yeah.
If we're yellow, we're in the middle third of the world. If we are in the green, we're in the top third of the world. And some reports have maybe 64 countries, but some reports have 180, 190 countries. That's the world. That's 99% of global GDP. So it's important to know where we are, bottom third, middle third, top third. And it's on the site. So what's important is for all of us to work together, as we did, to push from the bottom third to the top third. And I can tell you right now, when you go to the site, there are more reds than there are greens today. So that's the challenge we face. But we need to work together. And so if you see red, we should take that as a challenge to work.
That's right.
I think that's the attitude we should take.
But in so doing, ARTA and this report can be taken like positively or negatively. Some will be defensive. Some will be say that's not true, and that's why we need, as I said, we need to.
DG Ness will explain everything.
Okay, but it's a good. This is a good initiative because we know where we are, and we can improve since we know if we are lagging, or we are in the green, or in the red, or in what's the other color?
Yellow.
In yellow,
Yes.
we know where we are. So it should be a challenge to the entire government and the Filipino people to address those red ones, especially.
Correct, sir. And once it's all green, then that's also
Fantastic. If
fantastic,
if
right?
it's all green.
Yeah.
Throw another party.
Yes.
First world. We belong to the first world country if,
Yeah.
if we have, on the average, green color.
Yeah. Actually, Secretary Perez mentioned about the DTI. I think Secretary Pascual was very excited to join, but he had prior engagement. But we're currently in talks with them on how we will be able to interconnect the CMCI. I'm sure a lot of our participants are familiar with the cities and municipalities competitiveness index. So that's something that can merge or can be aligned with the competitiveness dashboard. All right, so I think we have time for one more question. Anyone, sir? Just okay, so Rick first.
Yes. Good afternoon. First of all, I would like to congratulate our DG Secretary, Nes Perez, and the hard working group of his team, the USEX and everyone. You know, I'm Rick Samaniego from the Philippine Coalition of Consumer Welfare. And this ARTA, in fact, was conceptualized during the time of PGMA. I think Senator Lina was there and the others. And we're praying that ARTA would be successful. Now, I heard that we are talking about competitiveness, interconnection with different government agencies. Since the last 2 decades, we've been trying to first improve our internet connectivity. Now, ARTA set the pace. When you go to the page of ARTA and you have a complaint, kompleto po ang ARTA. Meron pong mobile number, merong landline number, may Viper number. But right now, the Philippine Coalition of Consumer Welfare, na kami po yung nasa ground, tumutulong para i-report po ito sa ARTA. Ngayon po, talagang nakikita namin problema. Dapat gayahin po ng mga different agencies ang ARTA. Meron po silang mobile number para po napakadali. Sa 91% of the prepaid subscriber and 9% of the subscriber ng telcos. So, I think we must be serious. Nasa na tayo ngayon, kasamang bill, no, o DG Secretary, with regards to improving, really, our internet connectivity. 5 years ago, we have a guest ng Philippine Coalition of Consumers, si Jack Ma sa Lasal. And then sinundo namin siya sa airport. You know what? I think 6 years ago to be exact. You know what this Jack Ma said, si Alibaba? Oh, in the Philippines, you have very poor connectivity. Ganun, no? No, I was telling him, we're trying to improve it. And, sir, you're one of, our speaker in Lasal. So, pagdating doon, nandun lahat, di naman niya tinira, no? Kasi may mga telcos around. Sinabi lang ni Jack Ma na, in order to become successful, you have to improve your internet connectivity. I live in Makati, and some of you lives in Makati. Nagkakaroon po din ng experience ng mga blind spot. When you pay in GCash, when you pay in Paymaya, we have to accept that challenge. Now, I would like to ask my friend Bill, o Secretary Nes, nasa na po ba tayo when it comes to improving our internet connectivity? I don't see our friend from the DITC kung nandito sila eh. Pero yun po talaga ang problema sa ground. No? We're in Metro Manila and yet there are so many blind space dito sa atin. So again, first thing first, we have to improve our internet connectivity so we can connect in different agencies in government. Thank you so much. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, sir.
Can I respond to that? The first joint memorandum circular that ARTA released together with the DICT, DILG, and other concerned agencies is about improving bureaucratic efficiency in terms of streamlining the permitting process for shared passive telecommunications tower and the construction of poles. Before that JMC, it took about 2.5 years to get one's construction permit to construct a pole. And it requires about 86 documents to be submitted. With that joint memorandum circular, we were able to substantially reduce the number of requirements, the number of processing time from about 2.5 years to just about 2 months. And as a result of which, based on the study released by the World Bank, with the 1-year implementation of that JMC, resulted in the issuance of construction permits by more than 26,000, including the increase in the internet speed. I think we are back up with figures. So I can assure Rick here that improving our internet connection is a top priority of ARTA. In fact, so successful is this JMC that it was supposed to expire on September 14, 2023 with the expiration of the emergency power given by Congress. The President, no less, extended the validity of this JMC by issuing Executive Order 32, making it permanent. Those streamlining efforts for the construction of telecommunication tower and construction of poles. So it not only improved the internet or strengthened the internet connection by simplifying the requirements, it even expanded the coverage by way of including the operationalization or energization of those towers. So if you can check our website again, you will see the improvement in terms of internet connection, the UCLA test result. No? So, and right now we are continuously working with the 4 top telecommunications companies and tower companies, and we are going to have our 4th workshop in order to map out the whole Philippines that will cover the entire country so that no municipality, even island municipality, will be left behind. I can discuss with you, Rick, in more details. Thank you.
Rick, one of the biggest section, I think, of the Global Competitiveness Dashboard is on digitalization, precisely because you mentioned that problem. But it's not just a matter of the hardware and the infrastructure, but there are a lot of other underlying systems and processes we need to work with as well. But just to say that it's being closely monitored on this dashboard.
Sir. All right. I think we have one more question from our friends from the Cagayan de Oro Chamber.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Congratulations, Secretary Nes. I'm Ray Talimio from the Cagayan de Oro Chamber of Commerce and Industry Foundation. We have seen from the local level the effect of the ARTA, like say in the electronic business one-stop shop, the issuance of the occupancy permit and the other local initiatives. But on a global scale, we would like to ask ARTA on the impact of the Republic Act 11032 on the ranking of the Philippines in the Global Competitiveness Index. In particular, were we able to measure the impact for the last 6 years since the enactment of this Republic Act? Thank you very much.
We will be able to measure that when the next ranking will be out. That's why we're doing this initiative as early as possible, so that, as Bill mentioned here, when the Global Competitiveness Report shall have been out by, when is this, Bill? July? June. Although, of course, this initiative will not have an impact on this year's release. But in the succeeding years, we are pretty positive that we shall have an impact and we shall be able to attempt and improve our ranking.
Yeah. On the website, we will give you a short time series about roughly 5 years for each report where the data is available. So if you go to the first section, General Competitiveness, World Competitiveness Yearbook, you will see the data up to 2023, and in June we will update to 2024. But you can trace back 2023 going back 5 years. I can tell you that the Philippines has been either steady or dropping. Okay, I want to repeat that. Either steady or dropping in the global competitiveness reports. This is why we were concerned, to gather all the data and see how well or how poorly are we doing. And in some cases, we're in that red section. We want to get out of the red section.
I just want to emphasize that we should manage our expectation also, because while we believe in the leadership of Secretary Nes Perez, with his passion and his commitment and dedication to really carry out the mandate of ARTA. But ARTA, as it is, as an authority, is only 6 years old. And Secretary Perez took over as full-time Director General only for the last two years. You will be on your second year this coming November, if I am not mistaken. ARTA, there was an ARTA Act, an anti-red tape act in 2007, but that there is no authority. It is under the Civil Service Commission. It's not a full-blown agency dedicated to ease of doing business or an agency that attacks red tape, no? So let's manage our expectation, and so enthusiastic to see how ARTA has impacted our global competitiveness level. That just a caution, no? But we are very positive and optimistic that with the way ARTA is proceeding now, we can see improvements in the years to come.
Thank you, Attorney. And I think Secretary Perez mentioned earlier that we still have a lot of things to do. But tools like this competitiveness dashboard will serve as input to the conversations that we will have not only with government agencies, but also with our private sector stakeholders, and how we will be able to pinpoint choke points in the process, how we will be able to streamline some of the identified processes in the indices that Sir Bill mentioned. So thank you so much for sharing all those information. I believe that's the only time that we have for now, but our Secretary, Sir Bill, and Sir Joey will be available later, after dinner, if you have any more questions. So let us give a round of applause to our panel members. Thank you so much, everyone, and please visit the Competitiveness Dashboard website. Thank you.
Let us give another round of applause to our panelists and to our guests for an engaging discussion. May we ask our panelists to remain on stage for the photo opportunity. May we request Sir Bill Luz to please remain on stage for the awarding of the token of appreciation, and may we also request the ARTA senior management to please join them on stage. Before we conclude today's program, we now invite our guests to please direct your attentions to the screen for the same day edit video.
Once again, thank you very much to our dear panelists for that very insightful discussion on the Philippine Global Competitiveness Report Card. Before we proceed, we wish to invite once again our development partners and the Chambers of Commerce to join us on stage for a photo opportunity with the ARTA Senior Management. May we call on Secretary Ernesto V. Perez, Undersecretary Rico Judge Janvier Echeverry, Undersecretary Gerald Divina Gracia, and Undersecretary Genesis R. Abbott. May we also invite Chambers of Commerce, the Philippine-Norway Business Council Incorporated, the German-Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the Nordic Chamber of Commerce of the Philippines, Malaysia Chamber of Commerce in the Philippines, the Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce Incorporated, the Swiss Chamber, and the British Chamber of Commerce. We also would like to invite a representative from the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry and Cagayan de Oro Chamber of Industry. Once again, let's give another warm round of applause to our development partners and the Chambers of Commerce.
To formally conclude today's program, may we invite to the stage the Deputy Director General for Administration and Finance, Undersecretary Rico Judge Janvier M. Echeverry.
To the Honorable Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin, to our ambassadors, His and Her Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Secretary Lopez Santos, our distinguished guest, fellow colleagues in the government, our dear and fellow officials and employees from our departments, offices, and agencies in government, our Director General, and the father of ARTA, Secretary Ernesto V. Perez, my fellow Deputy Director Generals, 𝐸SEC Genesis R. Abbott, and 𝐸SEC Gerald G. Divina Gracia, the valiant and diligent Chief Administrative Officers, and all our regional field officers, our beloved employees and human resources of the Anti-Red Tape Authority, good evening to all of you. To open our program, 𝐸SEC Divina Gracia laid out the participation and relevance of ARTA in the Philippine society, innovating not just through technology, but in management and process streamlining, in keeping with our mandate to cut red tape and facilitate the ease of doing business. We were likewise apprised today of the launching of the Pinasbilis Phase 2. Pinasbilis as a whole has not only strengthened the collaboration between ARTA and Aboitiz, but also opened further windows into capacitating government agencies and partners in the business sector. 𝐸SEC Abbott highlighted how the past 6 years have situated ARTA into the model of nation building, as evinced by the achievements of the same period within the presentations of ARTA's 𝐋𝐈𝐕𝐄, or ARTA's National Innovation Movement. ARTA continues now with express guidance to achieve effective and efficient bureaucracy pursuant to the thrust of President Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr. Secretary Ernesto V. Perez delivered the 6th State of the ARTA address, highlighting the direction of the agency. He pointed out the several joint memorandum circular and the implementation of the pertinent executive orders issued by the Office of the President, which are specific and concrete output of ARTA to evince the achievements and reports of the agency for the past 6 years. The Secretary also noted the whole of government approach to continued empowerment of government offices and improved delivery of basic services for the ease and convenience of all people who engage with the Philippine government. The Secretary also reported that ARTA this morning launched the Philippine Global Competitiveness Report Card, providing insights to Philippine competitiveness in the global stage. The Secretary closed with recognizing the men and women who serve under ARTA and exhorted them to continue on this journey to deliver prompt quality public service to all people. The many esteemed partners of ARTA shared their generous messages of support after the State of the ARTA address of the Secretary, and for the ARTA is eternally grateful. Executive Secretary 𝐋𝐈𝐕𝐄 pointed out the invaluable role of ARTA in realizing the thrust and directive of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. to make the Philippines competitive through innovation and streamlining of process to render prompt, complete, quality basic service for every Filipino. He exhorted that ARTA to continue the fulfillment to its mandate to the best of its ability as the Philippines is ready to take the world stage by storm in the field of competitiveness and responsive government. AIM, Rizalino S. Navarro Policy Center for Competitiveness, Chairman Guillermo Luz, highlighted that the continued engagement between AIM and ARTA is highlighted and exemplified through the launch of the Philippine Global Competitiveness Report Card. Through this measure of the competitiveness dashboard, the aim of keeping people apprised and encouraging doing business within the Philippines shall be realized. The goal of enhancing Philippine competitiveness takes center stage through this dashboard. The Philippines is on the verge of competitiveness at par with the best of the Southeast Asian region. And soon, the world, which we can achieve only with more output from ARTA, together with our public sector and private sector partners. The fireside chat thereafter was conducted to discuss the finer points of the Philippine Global Competitiveness Report Card. It is laudable that for the achievements of ARTA for the last 6 years, we already have the Philippine Competitiveness Dashboard. As the saying goes, an unreflected life is not worth living. If ARTA is to ever draw its significance and chart its course for the future, it is necessary to admit of the weaknesses or gaps in Philippine competitiveness and build on the strength of the country to aim higher. Despite just being in existence for 6 years, ARTA is already on the right track, especially so under the strides the agency has made under Secretary Ernesto V. Perez with every single official and member of the ARTA. We are also grateful for the presence of Governor of the Misamis Oriental, Honorable Peter M. Unyabia, as indeed the success of ARTA is undeniably intertwined with the support of the local governments. Thus, moving forward with the regional field offices of ARTA leading the way, we look to more expansive and concrete collaborations with the local government units in the years to come. This is ARTA, always ready to ascend together with each other, for each other. Muli po, sa ngalan ni Secretary Ernesto V. Perez, sa ngalan ng buong ahensya ng ARTA, mabuhay ang ARTA, mabuhay ang bawat membro at kabalikat ng ARTA, mabuhay ang bagong Republika ng Pilipinas.
Thank you, Undersecretary Echeverry. It has indeed been a fruitful 6 years of transforming the way we do things in government. We are delighted to be sharing this milestone with all our esteemed partners.
Once again, this has been the 6th State of the ARTA Address. Katuwang sa isang layunin para sa Bagong Pilipinas. Let us continue working for smarter initiatives
and the global Philippines. Have a great evening.
Kabilis na takbo ng ating mundo, paunat ng buto, bumangon na tayo sa bulong ng sistema. Walang asenso, huwag ka nang makubad na sa'yo ang pagbabago. Limutin na masasamang halimbawa, diskateng panis, itapon na pagservisyo ng tama, huwag masilaw sa pera sa gobyerno. Dapat buo ang ating tiwala. Paspas Pilipinas, paspas, trabaho at papeles, huwag nang ipabukas. Wakasan ng rete patagayan, sundin ng batas, bilisan, bilisan ng kilos, kakanda ang bukas. Paspas Pilipinas, paspas. Kabilis na takbo ng ating mundo, makunat ang buto, bumangon na tayo sa bulok ng sistema. Walang asenso, huwag ka nang makupad na sa'yo ang pagbabago. Limutin mo na masasamang halimbawa, diskateng panis, itapon na pagservisyo ng tama, huwag masilaw sa pera sa gobyerno. Dapat buo ang ating hiwala. Paspas Pilipinas, paspas, trabaho at papeles, huwag nang ipabukas. Wakasan ng rete pagkagayan, sundin ang batas, bilisan, bilisan ng kilos, kaganda ang bukas. Paspas Pilipinas, paspas. Paspas Pilipinas, Pilipinas, paspas. Sama-sama tayo ay aahon, dumating na ang tamang panahon. Matamis na bunga sa mabilis na aksyon, may buwelo na, huwag sayangin ang pagkakataon. Paspas Pilipinas, paspas, trabaho at papeles, huwag nang ipabukas. Wakasan ng rete paglagayan, sundin ang batas, bilisan, bilisan ng kilos, kaganda ang bukas. Paspas Pilipinas, paspas. Paspas Pilipinas, paspas. Paspas Pilipinas, paspas. Paspas Pilipinas, paspas Pilipinas, paspas.
Smarter initiatives, better Philippines.
We are pleased to announce that the Philippine Global Competitiveness Report Card Survey is now live in ARTA's official website.
We would like to invite all our guests to join us for dinner. You may proceed to any of the buffet stations positioned in both sides of the room. To our VIP tables, please remain seated as dinners shall be served directly to your seats.